Yeah, you wait for a while.
Okay, well, yes. Distinguished Coordinator General of OIC Comstech, distinguished national and international speakers, dear participants, all protocol observed, Assalamu alaikum, and warm welcome to this important webinar on future skills in frontier technologies organized by the STI Policy Research Center and Training Center of OIC Comstech. I'm Mr. Ino Makaka, Senior Technical Manager of at OIC Comstech, and I will be facilitating the session today. Ladies and gentlemen, every meaningful journey begins with the remembrance of Allah Pak, and to bless today's proceedings, we will now start with the recitation of the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. I'm pleased now to introduce and invite my dear colleague, Dr. Ismaili Diallo, Senior Scientist and Regional Advisor of OIC Comstech and the Head of Comstech STIC to deliver his welcome address. Please, Dr. Ismaili Diallo, the floor is yours. Please, Doctor. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. The technological skills of the future include mastery of AI and data analysis, cybersecurity, programming, cloud platform management, and strong digital literacy. Beyond tools, it is equally important to develop cognitive and personal skills such as critical thinking and complex problem solving, adaptability and continuous learning to navigate a constantly changing professional environment, creativity and innovation to innovate and create value, social and emotional intelligence to collaborate effectively, evaluating super teams composed of humans and robots. With the growing importance of digital technologies in our daily lives, it is worth noting that they generate numerous environmental challenges linked to significant electrical energy consumption. All digital equipment is based on microelectronic components, circuits, and systems. In addition to these environmental challenges, the applications of emerging technologies in all areas of society, like business, health, education, family life, etc., create ethical and societal challenges. These challenges include the frequencies and wavelengths used with 5G would raise concern about the environmental and health impacts. Privacy protection and behavioral manipulation in the context of AI and robotics. Privacy and informed consent regarding the Internet of Things. Data dependency and unauthorized use related to augmented reality. To address these challenges and foster responsibility innovation, it is important to address certain fundamental values in the following areas: research and ethical, legal, and social implication can play a warning or early detection role. New media can help bring ethical and social challenges to the attention of the wider public. The issue of well-being should be considered in legal documents. Democracy, autonomy, transparency, and well-being must be taken into account in technological innovation. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Diallo, for your welcome address. Now, I'm pleased to introduce our guest of honor, His Excellency Mr. Ayub Ram Zakouri. He's a chairman and CEO of Zakouri Group. It's a prestigious group of innovative companies operating in several sectors, such as manufacturing, energy, fast food and beverage, construction, information technologies, and the list goes beyond. Please, His Excellency Ayub Saab, we warmly welcome you for your message to the young generation today. Please, the floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Makaka, for the kind introduction. Do you want me to switch on my camera or is this okay?
Yes, it will be better to have your camera open, please.
Sure, I'll do that. Just a moment. I hope I'm visible now.
Yes, sure.
Thank you, Makaka, for the kind introduction. You've been really kind with the words. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's an honor to be here, speaking to the young ladies and gentlemen, the future of our country, inshallah. It's an honor, Makaka, again, that you have invited me into this ComSets event for the future of the technology and everything. So I'm really humbled. Going forward, I would like to mention that now in the kind of era that we live in, so technology has actually, like, brought us pretty close Like now I'm sitting here in Peshawar and talking to the August gathering that you have in Islamabad. So look at the technology, what technology has actually done. And actually would say that during the time of COVID, it has actually evolved a lot. Things that we never actually imagined that we will be actually dependent on. We have started doing that. We have actually become dependent on those things. And in dependency, it doesn't mean in a bad way, in a really good way. So looking at the future, like then thinking about like since I come from Pakistan, so knowing that we have the majority of the population is the youth, like 65% is below the age of 30. So we need to understand that we have a huge potential. I'm sure like all of you are aware, and I don't need to say about that, about the numbers that we are the fifth largest, youngest population in the world. And having that, we have the huge potential as well. We are one of the largest, 5, 10 largest, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, exporters in the freelancing as well. So when you speak of technology, when you speak of like freelancing and everything, so personally, I would say that we have a huge potential in this country, but we need to understand one thing. It is not only about developing AI or like developing anything in blockchain or like be it in like any healthcare or energy or climate or anything, but it is about knowing how to use those as well. It is about training as well. So what we need to do through this platform, I would request Makaka and everyone here on the platform listening to me as well, that what we need to do, what is the need of an hour is that we need to bring in the linkages between the academia and the youth, because we need to acknowledge that we need to change the curriculum that we have right now. The pace that the technology is actually growing and the pace that we are actually changing the curriculum, they're not at hands in hands. They need to like come at the same pace. So thinking about that, we need to train our youth. We need to know that, okay, fine, even if we build the technology, so there are people who are actually capable of using that as well. Because without that, trust me, globally, we will not be able to survive. It's like something that we really need to do. And recently, what happened, I will actually like any mention. I'll not like go into the names and everything, but recently, what happened, the unrest between us and our neighboring country. So, can you imagine even the wars are not actually fought through guns and through planes and all through all those things? It was a technology war. So if the defense system has actually grown to that level where your defense is dependent on the technology as well. So imagine what else it is. So having said that, we really need to focus on that. Pakistan has a huge potential. Like I said, like the 65% of the population is youth. Tech is the future, be it agri-tech, be it blockchain, be it climate change, be it energy, be it healthcare, be it anything. So robotics, biotech, I don't know, like things that I can actually think of. So we need to focus on these things, bring a balance, I would actually say. And I believe the way that God has been really kind, the way that they have actually given us a acknowledgement through this blessing in disguise, the war that actually happened, that people have started acknowledging us because of the technology that we have. Yes, we were being helped by China as well, but at the same time, we were able to acknowledge that, okay, fine, this is something that we really need to invest in. So knowing the right time to invest into the right things, how to go forward with that, and how to utilize that in your favor, that is what has actually put Pakistan on the international map in a very good position. So with all that, I would sum up to the youngest fellows of my country that focus on that. Think about Pakistan, think about not going out. Rather than that, staying in the country, invest yourself into this country. There is a lot that can be done. We have a bright future. We are the one, you are the one who is actually going to bring out this country from the slums or from the depression or from the recession or from whatever we are actually going through, the instability. So thank you very much once again, Makaka. I hope I have not actually bored everyone sitting in the room. And I might have said something that might have touched somebody's heart and might take away something from today's my speech. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ayub Sab, for your time and your powerful and motivating words. Now, I'm very pleased. This is my privilege to kindly introduce and invite His Excellency Professor Mohamed Iqbal Chaudhry, Coordinator General of OIC Comstech, Mustafa Prize Laureate, and Distinguished National Professor, to deliver his welcome remarks. Please, Professor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon. You see, the span of OIC is so broad that somewhere in West Africa, people are still waking up. And somewhere in the eastern side, people are wrapping their work and perhaps going for the dinner. So it's extremely exciting that you speak to the world, starting from Suriname and Guyana in the west to Papua and Timor in the east. But it is exciting by all definitions. Exciting that we are living in a world. You see, I was born a long time ago, a century ago, and I don't really remember the kind of development I have witnessed in the first several decades of my life. The development in technology are just completely mind-boggling. It surpasses, it's just beyond our imagination. So it is stranger than fictions. It is more stranger. You think of any fiction, science fiction movie, and you would find that what is happening today is beyond that. Literally, I can. So it is just absolutely phenomenal that you live in a world which is changing with absolutely phenomenal and dizzying pace. So this new generation, and my grandson is telling me that he's from Gen Z. I don't know what it means, to be honest. I still have to figure out what Gen Z means. And he called his youngest brother as Alpha Zero, Alpha Generation Alpha, whatever. You see that the developments are actually putting you in a greatest possible dilemma of your life. Either you master technology or you become subject of technology. Either you come over technology or you become subject of technological development. And AI is a typical example which our very competent and younger speaker, Mr. Ayub Khan Zakuri, has actually mentioned. And I see this development as a pyramid in which we have on the one side, on one corner, innovation potential of the younger people. I don't need to repeat how many young people we have. We have this amazing creative potential which need to be unleashed. So on one corner of this pyramid, we have younger generation and their creative potential for innovation. On the other corner, we have these tremendous development in technologies, just unimaginable development. And right on top of it, if you take this innovation potential and unleash creativity of young people, combine them together with enabling environment to use technology, you get wealth generation for socioeconomic development. So this is the kind of a pyramid which we need to create. And the good news is that these socioeconomic development, inclusive and sustainable, through youthful innovation potential in technological development, is intellectual intensive. They are not capital intensive. You don't need a lot of money to build bridges and factories or whatever. They just need development of skills giving them inclusive education, giving them foundational high quality education. And this need a lot of work, because if we can train younger people and provide them skills, they can do miracles, literally miracles. And I wish to remind you, Gen Zs, and I don't know who, that there is a study that you would live about 100 years of life. Rakib is very happy. So, you're a centennial generation, and centennial generation would really have about 100 years or over average life expectancy. Take this long lifespan, productive lifespan, and think of technological development. How many times you need to come back to universities to unlearn and relearn? Technological development are so fast that your knowledge which you acquire from the universities would be redundant in no time. Maybe your first degree is capable of giving you the job, first job. But later on, it's your capacity to unlearn. Unlearning is very important. And relearn. Your capacity to adopt, your capacity to be flexible, your capacity to be a nomad in the world of knowledge. Find new professions, find new fields, find new disciplines, master the technologies. And I'll tell you, good news is that you are increasing in number. The 57 countries of ours, Akim, our growth rate is really very high. Fertility is just absolutely amazing. We're just surpassing any country. We're the 5th largest country in the world. In this, Nigeria is catching up very fast. They're working very hard. So, while the youth potential, this demographic advantage and dividend give us in a position that we can contribute. The West is depopulating. The population is decreasing with a rate of 1.6% annually. Japan has a reduction of population in 3 million in 2.5 years. Scandinavia has a minus population growth. It's called winter. It's called demographic winter, depopulation. Good news, Not a good news? A good news. Good news that they would have older people, they would need a lot of fuel to support them. They would not be able to create anything because innovation is directly proportional to youthfulness. Innovation would be relocated in our lands. We will be the one who would innovate. We will be the one who would actually take that world forward. So depopulation gives you an niche also. At the same time, kindly remember that the world is so dissymmetrical, It may be connected in some sense, but think is that today there are more conflict than ever. The tools for information are used for disinformation and misinformation. There is a Trump factor, would not let you in, right? There is Islamophobia. 2 billion people are outcast. They are considered as, not part of humanity. There are so many stigmas attached to us. They don't really issue you a visa. You can't travel to West. So remember that the only way you can excel in your life is to master the technology, remain in your country, or circulate within the OIC world. And this is exactly what Comstech is trying to do. Comstech is trying to provide you the opportunity of moving from one OIC member state to the other. You have ample opportunities, a lot of socio-economic development, the economic growth, a lot of raw material, and most importantly, the brain. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Professor Dr. Iqbal Chaudhry, for your inspiring opening remarks and unwavering support for youth across OIC member states by providing so many opportunities, the scholarships, capacity building opportunities for the OIC member state. Thank you very much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to move on to the technical session. And for that, the first technical session is entitled Human Skills in the Age of AI. The key message here is that machines may automate so many tasks, but the human strength will continue to drive progress. And it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Shai Dionis, a distinguished speaker on future of jobs and entrepreneur and also a UK politician. He will bring a deep insight into the evolving role of human skills in the area of artificial intelligence. So I kindly invite Mr. Shahid Younis to deliver his presentation. Please, Mr. Younis, the floor is yours. Yes, yes.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Can you please confirm, Makaka, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is absolutely a pleasure to be invited by Comstech and Makaka to address a very distinguished audience across the Muslim countries. I've just come back from Pakistan only 2 days ago and delivered some of the seminars at Islamabad universities and also Lahore. And the topic was very similar. It was mostly talking to youth, head of academic faculties. How do we stay relevant in the age of AI, especially when so many things which are traditionally being done by machines now will be done by people, will be done by machines. I'm really excited to talk to our youth because you are the future. You are the important asset for the Muslim countries. That's why it is so important to invest in our youth, to upskill them, to educate them so they can take the leading roles in the world to come. So my topic, as Makaka has mentioned, is human skills in the age of AI. Let me share my slides with you. Wait 1 second. I hope everyone can see my slides.
Yes, we can see your slide, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, as a brief introduction, I'm based in the UK. I am not academic by background. It is my industry experience for the last 30 years. Worked from the largest organizations and delivered consultancy and training across Europe, Middle East, or US, or also Australia as well. So what I'm going to share with you is my own experiences over the years, and also studying the direction of travel which the emerging technologies are bringing, the opportunities, the threats, and also how do we see the new technology and especially the AI? Do we see this as a competition to human beings, or is it a partnership? I have some other interests as well, but I won't go into it in the politics and also in the charity sector as well. But let's stick to the topic at hand. First of all, let's understand, right, implications of AI. AI, obviously, we are going through the fourth industrial revolution, as we know. The first one being agriculture, the second, the industrialization, and the third, the e-commerce, and now we have the fourth one, which is driven by the artificial intelligence. But what is actually different people understand, when we mention AI, different people understand AI in a different way. Every revolution had a different tools, new innovations come up, which enabled the change. For industrialization, electricity and gas, when we had e-commerce, obviously we had the internet, and now we are talking about the AI. So AI has a wide range of applications across various industries and domains. And what I'm going to do is mention some of them to give you some idea the impact of AI currently having, or in the future very soon that they will be having. So look at the natural language process to start off with. With voice recognition, we know very familiar with Alexa. Language translation apps we have developed. We can translate one language to the other, across when we travel. So basic, but nevertheless very useful applications of that. Image and video recognition, again, facial recognition of criminal to detection of crimes, self-driving cars. Again, this is examples of image and video recognition. Healthcare, a very important change is happening in healthcare, where personalized medicine can be delivered. Just give you an example. At the moment, when we have a cancer treatment, chemotherapy not only kills the bad cells, but also it damages the good cells as well. So by this, we have the opportunity to develop a personalized medicine, which will base on the DNA of the particular person. Early detection of glaucoma, and patients are being diabetics. Just give you an example of a case study which was done in London, where Moorfield Hospital, they give 1 million images to a company to analyze. And from their outcome of that analysis was that they could detect 1 year before whether a person is going to get a likelihood of a person getting a heart attack, up to a 90% accuracy. So that just shows the power of this early detection, and obviously the diagnosis, and earlier the diagnosis, the quicker obviously the treatment can take place. Robotics, obviously automation, again, this is it's having a huge impact on our jobs as much. I'll just give you another example. And just outside London, there's an Amazon warehouse. There's 4,000 workers were employed there. Now everything is automated, and there's only half a dozen or 1 dozen people who are actually running the whole operation from start to all the way to finish. But Ayub earlier on mentioned regarding the wars, the way it will be fought in the future as well. Part of our visits last week, we also went to GCHQ and had a meeting with DG ISPR and our senior in the team there as well. We're just talking about the war which recently was between Pakistan and India. And again, the future wars, the dynamics are totally different. And one of the key things the role is going to play is the cyber warfare, where not only and obviously the drones we saw as well, but cyber warfare is one of the most key roles it's going to play. Because just think about it, if you can intrude into the national grid of a country, and you can make the whole country can be blocked out. and just imagine how much damage that will do to the whole infrastructure. Finance, again, credit scoring, risk management, that is already in operation, fraud detection, marketing and advertising, again, another application of that, gaming, and including game design, game testing, and player behavior analysis. Just I'm going to go quickly through them so I can go to the next stage. Education itself is changing so much. The question is arising what value the universities are actually giving to the students. Because if it just information transfer, then any students can go on the internet, download all the curriculum from all different universities and can study at home. But the question is, what value are the university are adding? And they need to innovate. They need to add value so the students come out better as a result of that, and they are able to perform a more effective role when they go outside. Agriculture, as another example, huge impact is having, technology is having, including precision farming, crop monitoring, and predictive analytics. Now you can, based on the particular plant, you can tell what exactly the water content, when, and quantity and quality required, and so you can save so much water as a result of that. Water is a huge resource. Country like Pakistan, it is being wasted, but we need to adopt these technologies to save that water, and also improve agriculture as well. So this is just some of the examples. They're not all of them, but at least some of the examples where technology is having a huge impact in these areas. So there's a quote from Professor Klaus Schwab. He's the founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, that there's never been a time of greater promise or greater peril. So we are in the history, mankind, we have the opportunity. Now the question is, this technology which we have, this will have a huge impact on our lives. It's a very disruptive, far more disruptive than the previous revolutions we had. The way we shop, the way we learn, the way we work, and the way we are governed, all of this will be affected. Now, as a result of this, we have so much jobs which are being lost. So 2025, we are facing now almost 85 million jobs will disappear. 97 of them will be created by these new technologies. This is just to give you some facts and figures. 50% of employees will need reskilling. So all the skills you have to upskill yourself. AI can already automate or replace 40% of the current tasks. So 9 out of 10 jobs will require digital skills. Now the question is that when we move forward, how do we, when a lot of the jobs will be taken over by the machines, what is our relevance? How do you add value and stay competitive in this particular age, right? So that is some things I'm going to talk about as emerging skills which are required. The first ones, I've broken this down into 3 of them. One are digital skills. That's first one. So in the 4th industrial revolution, it's all about digital transformation. The industry and services are transitioning from analog world to the digital world. So everything is going online, and we need to get additional digital skills. So what does that mean? So this is a diagram, just maybe briefly summarizes the different types of digital skills we need to be aware of. We need to know how to use them. So one is communicate, collaborate, and share online. So this is about communication. We need to be very familiar with the tools which will enable us to do that. And we are speaking online. That's one way to do it. That is the way things are happening nowadays. Handling information and control. Again, information, data, everything online leaves a digital trace. We have so much data now. The challenge is, how do we manage that data? So we need to be aware what technologies can be used for analysis and get some insight from that data. Fourth one is transaction. Everything is going online. You have online banking. I can't remember personally the last time I went to the bank. Everything is done online. And also your passports, your Nadra cards, or any other things, everything is moving is online. Your taxes, your everything you need to do. So you need to get familiar with that. And the last one is problem solving. Find solutions to problems using the digital tools, online and services. You don't have to really master it, inside, but you need to know how to use it, and that's what we mean by digital skills. Moving on, the second type of skills I've classified as hard skills, and they are itself classified into 4 quadrants. So one is what is called as data and AI skills. So data, as I mentioned, is a huge, we have a digital trace. Every time we go, we leave a traces behind. So we need to get familiar with technologies who can deal with that. So data analytics, machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. And the other side is a digital and technical skills. These are, because everything is going online, we need to understand infrastructure, cloud computing, cybersecurity, software development, and blockchain. And then we have the business and innovation skills. Yes, we have the technology, but how do you use that technology to make it useful for people and for businesses? And engineering and emerging tech. And again, this is robots, IoT, quantum computing. All these different areas, hard skills, needs to be mastered, and that is the way we can move forward and deliver the services. Moving on to the next one, I've called is soft skills. Soft skills, this is where humans can compete, you can say, or partner with machines. At the end of the day, AI is another tool. Look at it that way. Now we have the opportunity to see it either as a partner or as a competitor. So the picture I had at the moment was actually a handshake. No, it's up to us how we see it. And those in what history tells us, that every revolution, all the tools which came along, people who consider them as partners, they excel, they took the opportunities and actually excelled in those areas. And those who saw them as a threat, they were actually left behind. So that is, that's an opportunity mindset for us. How do you think? So in the 4 C's of column in the 21st century, in terms of soft skills, communication is number 1. I will put that. Sharing thoughts, questions, ideas, not only verbal, but written, and also listening skills is more important. Second one is creativity. It was mentioned, one of the speakers earlier before, we need to think of new ways of doing things. That's human trait. Trying new approaches to get things done equals innovation and innovation and inventions. Thirdly, collaboration. That is more important because the problems are very complex. We can't do it by ourselves. We need to work as teams across borders, different cultures, and that is the way forward, because talent is spread across, and we need to make sure we harness that talent across borders and across cultures. And fourthly is critical thinking, looking at problems in a new way, and linking learning and subjects, connecting all the dots. So it is, core is a 4C in the 21st century. And the other thing which is very important under soft skills I put on is emotional intelligence. This is something never gets discussed in universities and other places, but emotions are so important and to manage at all levels, in our personal lives, in our professional lives, and in our business life. And I just want to highlight a particular one amongst others is anger. Well, one of my observations, even Pakistan, I've just been seeing that we are all very emotional people. We get angry very quickly. And how do we actually manage our emotion? That is so important, especially anger. If you don't manage it, you can actually literally can destroy your life. I can give you just one example I'll give, which will just highlight the importance of this. because this is a human trait. We do get angry, but it needs to be managed. I think I'll miss that. I'm just short of time. Second, the last one is problem solving. That is, again, as human beings, if we want to, machines will do, we cannot, there are certain things we cannot compete with the machine. Number crunching, machines will do better than us. But there are other traits which we have as human beings, because don't forget, AI is there to solve our problem, to help us, to as a tool for us, so it can serve us. We are the masters, it is our slave, not the other way around. Why it is so important? There is a huge skills shortage in these areas across the globe at the moment, in Europe, US, and also Australia as well. And at the moment, there's a global war for talent going on. Big companies, big tech companies, they are going around the world, actually acquiring the best talent, doesn't matter where it is. And this is, just to give you an example of some of the skill shortages. 65% of today's students will end up working in jobs that don't exist. So jobs actually don't even exist at the moment. New jobs will be created as a result, and 65% of them. 90% of the jobs already.
Please, Professor, sorry to interrupt you. You have like 2 minutes left, please.
Okay, I will just to highlight, these are the skill shortages across Europe and across all other countries. I just want to quickly mention there's a debate between degree and skills. Yes, degrees are very important, but about skills are even more important. Skills which gives you a job at the end of the day. They are practical skills, and this is one thing. My observation is the content in universities needs to be changed. We need to embed more practical elements into our content, so that when the students come out, they have not only a theoretical knowledge but also practical knowledge to actually make a difference. I just want to, before I finish, suggest a book, Yuval Noah Harari, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And it's worth reading it in terms of where the direction of travel, especially what impact the AI and all the new technologies will have on us. Lastly, for things to change, you have to change. It's up to us to make that change. Nobody else is going to do it. As a Muslim world, as individuals, we have to take the initiative and move forward and adopt these technologies. So we are the masters in terms of and taking the lead. So at this point, I would just like to thank you, everyone. Thank you, Makaka, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, your Professor Yunus, for your excellent insight presentation. Now, we would like to take a few questions from the audience. Please, online participants, if you have some question, kindly drop your question in the chat box, please. And also in the audience, if you have in-person participant, if you have question, kindly come to you can come here and yes, ask your question. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and especially I would like to acknowledge Mr. Shahid Yunus for your topic. Well, my question might not be directly relevant to your topic, but I guess you mentioned about upskilling, and we all know that how actually now AI is transforming the world, and it's also now changing the global landscape. We all are aware of one fact, and that is first mover advantage. So if we talk about in the context of Pakistan, we are well aware of this fact that we are still short of most of the technologies. Like take the example of internet. In the remote areas, we don't have the access of internet. So is there any policy mechanism apart from academia? Because most of the times we are just saying that academia needs to be more, you can say, sophisticated in terms of new technologies. We all agree on the same. But apart from that, is there any other, you can say, policy mechanism that should be translated in the latter and spirit in order to take this advantage of AI and to integrate it that would ultimately boost our economy? Thank you.
Thank you very much Sorry.
Thank you very much for your
Okay.
question. Please go
Go ahead.
ahead, sir. Yes.
Shall I? Okay. Shall I respond to that question? Or I wasn't sure whether there'll be another question. Shall I respond to it? Yes, I'll take that. Yes. Thank you very much for that question. I think it's a very important thing what you just highlighted. The way I think I see it, it needs to be a partnership between the different stakeholders. Academia is one partner in this. I think the government has a huge role to play in this because the infrastructure, is without infrastructure, you cannot do what we've been talking about. So internet, fast speed internet is, and making that available, across the country, even to the remote areas, that is something not a university or academia can do. That is something which the government's responsibility or other sectors need to get involved in to facilitate that. So internet is a basic. It's just like if you want to drive a car, you need to have a smooth road to drive the car. If you don't have a road, you won't be able to have a smooth ride. Similarly, you need to have the infrastructure, the highway on which the information can travel. So that is absolutely fundamental thing which you highlighted. So that is, infrastructure, internet available, and also the other, because information is stored in databases and infrastructure. So that's what I had is 5G network, for example, or 6G network. So that is, those are absolutely key to this. So internet availability and also the 5G and probably 6G infrastructure, they are fundamental if we are to actually adopt any of this what we've been talking about. If that doesn't exist, then this is going to be, well, is a no starter without them.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so
oh,
much for your.
That's the question.
Okay. Thank you so much for your insights and your kind response. I think now, is there any question in the audience, please? Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Younes, for your kind intervention and your time. I know you are very too busy. So now we now move to our second session on disruptive technologies, new skills, new jobs, and opportunities. This session will explore the impact of AI, Industry 4.0, and other emerging technologies on the job of tomorrow across sectors including health, finance, agriculture, energy, and education. And for this session, we have a very distinguished speaker, Mr. Bradway from US. He's a futurist and award-winning emerging technology leader, international keynote speaker, global influencer, visionary, and author of several books. And his new books, Racing the Future, is already available, and you can get it on Amazon. And this is not a publicity. So I'm honored to invite Mr. Bradway to share his presentation. Please, Mr. Brad, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. It's great being here. I'm honored and privileged to be speaking with you today. I'm calling from the US. It's early over here, so I know it's afternoon. I hope you guys are having a great session. So thank you for the kind introduction. I just want to say thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out, and this is great information that is being shared. So this is my contact information for everybody watching, everybody in the classroom there in the audience. This is my contact. Please reach out no matter what platform you are on. So there's my contact information. It'll be at the end as well. So if you missed it, you can grab it at the end. All right. So today what we're going to be talking about disruptive technologies. And under that, there's already been a lot of great talk about skills and jobs and Industry 4.0. We're going to go a little deeper on that and just do a little more exploration. So we're going to look at the skills again, jobs, and opportunities under these disruptive technologies. here are the 4 questions that will be leading this, brief discussion. What innovative technologies are driving change? And that's what we're going to look at. What future skills are needed now, which you even heard some right before me speaking. What are the emerging jobs and opportunities? What this is highlighting some of the unique jobs that maybe you've never heard before. Part of my research over the last year and a half has been around, job skills, mainly, maybe for our future workforce, going into the workforce now. What are the most in-demand skills? And during my research, I found a lot of jobs, that I was not even really aware of. So I'll be sharing some of those really interesting jobs that are out there with you. And then where do we go from here? What does this mean when we are done with this, talk? Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? We'll take a look at that. So Industry 4.0. As you've heard, there's been some references to Industry 4.0 already. Industry 4.0, let me do it like this. There we go. Industry 4.0 has 9 different technologies, and you've heard some of them already. Internet of Things, autonomous robots, AI is included, augmented reality, virtual reality, what we call extended reality, the cloud, simulation, digital twins, all of that. Industry 4.0, as you know, is the 4th revolution of industry that we are aware of. The big major step, the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s, automation, electricity in the early 1900s, adding a computer to a machine to get work done in the industrial setting in the 1980s was the 3rd, and we're now living in the 4th. And in the 4th industrial revolution, it really comprises these 9 elements. And that is my area of expertise, is knowing Industry 4.0 and Industry 4.0 adoption. And in that, I've been in Industry 4.0 since 2017 and AI and working on this, and that's what has led to the areas of workforce development, skill acquisition, disruptive technologies, and so on. So now we're going to take a look at some of these technologies right now. We don't have a lot of time, so I'll go briefly into this, but let's take a look at the shifting landscape. Obviously, jobs are evolving. They're going from manual to machine assisted, as you can see here, all of us work with machines now, to human managed, and really now looking at, part of it's, you can go on the extreme end and call it cobots. Cobots are robots that work with human, a collaborative robot. So there's the whole scale that is shifting and sliding from manual to human managed. So those are our parameters that we're going to be, using to look at today. All right, so disruptive technologies. I just have a handful of them. One of them is AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that. And the global word for that is XR, extended reality. So that could be augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality. So everything from using your phone and your tablet to get digital information, to having a full headset where you're truly immersed, or having a mixed reality headset where it's a blend of the two. So augmented reality, virtual reality, extended reality. Augmented reality has been around, since 2010, 2011. I mean, VR has been around since, actually since the 1980s in the military, but it came to us as consumers in, probably roughly 2014, 15, and then, with the other mixed reality headsets. Robotics, we've seen so much with robotics, whether this is, robotic arms assisting in an industrial setting, autonomous robots, everything from, delivery robots to medical robots to autonomous vehicles. All right, and then digital twins is another one. Digital twins is exactly what it sounds like. It is a digital version, a digital replica twin of something that exists in the real world. That can be everything from glasses that you've probably tried on in your camera, that's a digital twin, this is an example of an oil rig out in the ocean. We can do, products like tennis shoes, we can do machines, we can do cars, in the automotive setting. Anything that has become a digital version of a product that exists in the real world is a digital twin. The reason why that is so beneficial, not just on the consumer side where we can think about it, but really think about in a setting, an automotive company that's building a car or wants to build a car. They can make a digital version first, or they can even make a digital version second. But what digital versions allow you to do is test things and work on things. And it gives you a true representation. So now we're able to make changes and see how things, work before we build them. So if you're building a new factory or an amusement park, you can build all of it in a virtual world. And this would be even where once this digital twin is built, you can use, like augmented reality or virtual reality to experience it. You can grab your tablet and see it. You can grab a headset and it's built like in Unreal, and then you can experience it firsthand. The last one is, as you know, and there are a lot more than these, but artificial intelligence. And I won't even go too deep into that. You're all familiar with AI and what it can do, and everything from ChatGPT to every software program to analyzing data, writing code, making suggestions. I work a lot with AI and companies. I work with all of these, all Industry 4.0 adoption technologies. But in artificial intelligence, I've worked with companies, everything from agriculture to food, to finance, to manufacturing, to automotive, to space in AI. And everybody's experience is a little different, because it's a matter of understanding what your pain points are, what your problems are that you're encountering, and then how AI is going to assist you. And we'll go into that a little more as well. All right, so now you just heard a great talk about this. Future skills we need now, and over here you're going to see I've got the core clusters off to the side, but I'm going to reiterate some of the things you've already heard. Here are some of the really important skills that are needed. Okay, communication, collaboration, creativity, and adaptability. So where I got all my information was when I spent my first part of my career in the classroom. I was a teacher. And so I saw firsthand about teaching and training and education. And when I started getting out and working with companies in technology, I had the unique opportunity to interview and work with CEOs, presidents, C-level executives, human resources. And one of the questions I always asked was, what do you need for students coming out? What do you need for this workforce? And these are super important. These came up over and over and over again. As you see, a lot of this is, these are some soft skills that humans have: communication, collaboration, and so on. And now, again, these are, tech ones that you really, obviously, as you've seen, AI, data literacy, human machine collaboration. Really, you might hear it as, UX, UI, human machine collaboration. That can mean a lot of different things. How do we interact with machines? How comfortable are we with machines? Do we understand? And again, like I said, that can be, UX, UI, that can be cobots, that can be, different interfaces with software, that can be different interfaces with actual machines. So AI, data literacy, all these, and there are so many more, so many more. And I just pulled a few things out that I thought were high level to share with you today. Another one, problem solving. So systems thinking and innovation mindset. I know that sounds really, like, yeah, of course that makes sense. But really, innovation mindset, that I don't need to go into that because we all understand what that means. But think about systems thinking. So one of the things in Industry 4.0 is called system integration. Now we've all practiced it, but having a global understanding of what that actually means. So system thinking and system integration is, how is everything working together? And the more innovative we get and the more digital we get and the more machines are talking to each other and sharing data, and sensors are sharing data and putting data out. How does that all look globally? I like to think about when I'm talking with students, probably younger ages, I talk to them about Minecraft and building and understanding and different things like that. So, when you're working with different systems, you've got to see how everything works together. I'll work with companies, and that could be think about like this in a large corporation. You've got sales, marketing, human resource, different things like that. How do they all work together? And the more they work together, the better off the company is doing, the more successful. So that's another one. Uh, Ethics and foresight, this really comes in a lot, especially with AI, trust, responsibility, sustainability. So these are all really good skills. And there are so many more, but these are just some really good foundational ones to have as an idea and to know they're really in demand right now. So here are some of the emerging jobs and opportunities. Digital twin engineers. Now, in the digital twin side, I probably have 20 different jobs. Everything, because digital twin engineers can be everything from working in an industrial setting like manufacturing or agriculture. Could be on the other end, game design, whether you're building games in Unreal Engine. It could be, amusement. I work with some amusement park companies. You can be working on what does a new amusement park, a new ride look like. So digital twin engineers is another one. XR learning and training designers. Every time you start a new job, you get onboarded. You have to learn what the job is all about and skills. And so now at XR learning and training designers, those are people who are teaching you how to do step-by-step procedures or how to work a piece of equipment or a product, and whether you're using a tablet, a headset, a mixed reality headset, that's all involved in XR learning and training designers. All right, AI ethicist, there's probably 30, 40 different AI jobs. This is the ethical side of AI. That one is really super in demand right now. And there are so many other with language models and stuff. Robot coordinators, this is one that usually piques a lot of interest. This is somebody that is managing, robots for a company. And this can be everything in a factory that's bringing supplies and materials around the shop floor to an autonomous fleet, like cars, or it could be, a set of drones, anything like that. So robot coordinators is another one. So as we wrap up, as I know we're getting short on time here, disruption is not a threat. It's really an invitation. It really is. And this is an exciting time. There's so much going on. It's just a matter of figuring out, okay, what does that mean for us? So where do we go now? This is what I always suggest. Invest in building human plus tech skills. What I like to say is this is how technology is making us more human. The more technology evolves, it's pointing out the difference between machine and human. And what we really need to lean into is the human side, understanding the tech and the machine side, but what makes us more human. So every time technology evolves, it's an example and a way to show how it is making us more human, more cerebral, managing different things like that. So invest in your human skills plus tech, so we call that the soft skills and the hard skills, because soft skills, being able to look somebody at them, talk to them, communication, communicate well, collaborate well. But then the hard skills, whether it's a programming language, C++, Python, whatever that is, make sure you have a good blend of both. Embrace lifelong learning. I hear this all the time from companies is they want somebody that's like good to go, like, okay, as things come in, because you've seen how things have changed so much just in the last 4 or 5 years. They want people in their workforce that can adapt on the fly, be like, okay, yep, new systems coming in, a new coworkers coming in, whatever, new projects coming in, be able to adapt and be a lifelong learner. And then see yourself as a future builder in your role in your community, whatever that is. Make sure that you are open and aware of what's going on in your community, in your role, with technology and skills and adoption and movement and innovation, and you'll put yourself in good position. So this is the book that was just mentioned. It's called Racing the Future. You can get it. Over here, I have a QR code. If you just like to participate, you can set up a meeting with me. This just, if you want to share what you thought about it. This talks about the different technologies that I shared, things that you're interested in. And, thank you for your time. I am so thrilled to be here. So I'm going to stop sharing and let you take it from here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bradway, for your thought-provoking presentation. So we'll now take some few questions from the online audience or in person, if you have some. Please, online participant, kindly share your question in the chat box. Okay, Mr. Bradway, I have one question for you. Do you think that in the future the machines will replace the humans?
That's a great question. I do not think machines are going to replace humans, at least in my lifetime. Maybe, but I don't think in my lifetime. I do think we are going to be working a lot more hand in hand. Everything from cobots, collaborative robots to managing robots. It's really interesting, how much the robots and AI have accelerated, it just in the last 4 or 5 years. So it is going to look very different. I don't think they're going to replace us. They are going to displace a lot of current jobs. But, the automobile did the same thing. A tractor did the same thing. So many of these jobs, it's just moving from things that can be manual or automated are going to become more machine led. And then it's going to put us in a position to be more machine managed. We're going to manage, it takes people to build a car. It takes people to design a car. It takes people to use a car. But cars replace the horse. But now a lot of jobs came to, out of that, and it will continue to evolve in a similar fashion.
Thank you for your answer, sir. We have one online question. This is Mr. Osama Hafiz. His question is, what is the easiest first step a traditional company can take to begin adopting Industry 4.0 technologies? Yes.
That's a great question. And since there are so many technologies of Industry 4.0, as I mentioned, there's probably a couple different areas that are the easiest. One of the easiest, well, again, you need to look at it in your traditional company. Look at what is an issue or a problem or a roadblock that you're facing. And here are some of the solutions I've seen that are very common. A lot of times training and teaching somebody how to do something is a really good, quick area to start in. So training, whether that's teaching somebody how to run a machine, it's teaching somebody about a new product. So training is one. Another one is, data information is going through, we call it, big data mining. It's because so many machines put out so much information. It's like understanding what that means. It can be data from sales of a product. It can be data from how a machine is operating. So managing that data, using AI to understand and highlight some of that is another one. And then probably the third one is just, some entry-level artificial intelligence adoption. Everything from, like ChatGPT and Claude, any of the generative AIs, but then also so much more than that, looking at what is the process of your company and where would AI assist a worker. So those would be the 3 areas that I would recommend that the quickest to take a look at and start, working on something rather quickly.
Thank you, Mr. Bradway. We have just a quick question in the audience. Mr. Arslan Khan, I have a question for you from Comstech University. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Makaka, for the introduction. And hello and good afternoon, Mr. Bradwhite. This is Arslan on this side. And before moving to my question, I would just like to refer to your second slide and the last slide. And I would just like to mention this, that I have just forwarded my request on LinkedIn and we can connect, I guess. But acknowledge this fact that you have an amazing profile photo on the lighting.
Oh, thank you.
Well, now coming to the question, you just mentioned in your slide that disruption is not a threat, it's an invitation. But one thing that I have observed since I'm part of academia, that yes, we all acknowledge the importance of AI and especially the hard skills, but we are not ready what it comes to, you can say, learning or practicing all those hard skills. We are not ready to get out of our comfort zones. So what should be the motivation? Like, I am just giving a very traditional example. There used to be typewriters, if you remember. And
Yes.
once one had to move from typewriters to computers, I know how difficult it was for the individuals, without considering this fact that computer is much more intelligent as compared to the typewriters. So taking the same example now, when we are talking about AI, so how to motivate the workers, also the students, the researchers, to get out from their comfort zone and embrace the AI? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your comments, and thank you. That's a great question. I face it all the time, with how do we really adopt it and get out of our comfort zone? And it's not easy. The easiest way to do it, in my opinion, this is what I tell, even when I work with large companies, I have workers individually right there. I suggest personally try something first. Try an AI assisted, whether it's, some type of generative AI. Again, because it's really small steps, because people are overwhelmed today. People are very overwhelmed with everything. AI is moving so fast. All the articles, everything's coming out so fast. So I always recommend just go into one, AI type, probably generative program, and start there. See what it can do. Type in something, ask for it to accomplish something for you, ask for it to draw something. If you're in marketing, have it, give you a suggestion on drawing what a new logo could look like. If you're, in the workforce and you're working on something else, give a suggestion on how you can accomplish a task, or give you, something that you can research. It's really not real easy. But the recommendation I always say is find a place to start personally and then see how it can work for you professionally. So if you're a student, have it, how can you be more efficient during your day? Or if you want to find a local restaurant, people are already using different social media apps to get local information. Use AI to help you. If you're traveling a trip, have AI help you. If you're working with data, have AI help you. So I always recommend try to find something in your personal life and then see how it can start taking things off your plate in professional, because it's really about time saving is one of the first things that AI can do to assist, is saving us time. But that's where I would start. It's not an easy process, but that would be my recommendation. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bradway, for your kind and wonderful intervention. Very interesting session. And we keep in touch for our upcoming training workshop on digital twins. Inshallah, it will be held in person in Islamabad in the coming months. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we are moving to our last session. And this session, the title of this session is Youth Policy Education Shaping the Future of Work. This discussion will highlight the role of youth in the global digital economy and explore strategies for integrating future skills into national education policies. And to address this session, we have two distinguished speakers. The first one is Mr. Professor Dr. Muazzam Hatak. He's just join us in person. First, it was decided to be online, but it just changed and he joined us in person. Thank you very much for taking your time to join us in person, sir. So Professor Dr. Muazzam Hatak is a Director of Science and Technology of Quadi-Azam University. Is listed among the top 2% scientists of the world and serves as the chairperson of UNESCO National IFAP Committee and also director of ICESCO chair in Big Data Analytics. His expertise bridges both scientific excellence and policy development. I kindly invite Professor Attak to deliver his presentation. Please, Professor, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Makaka for inviting me to be part of this session. Today, I discuss something about updated technologies, youth, the government policies, what the universities are going to do, and what they are expected to do for the next generation preparation with respect to the future requirements. So here is the agenda of my talk that I will discuss today. This is my brief profile. I am Dr. Khattak, listed among top 2% scientists for the consecutive second year. I'm working as Director of Science and Technology at Quadi-Azam University, Islamabad. Earlier, I served as Dean Computing at NUST University, Islamabad as well. We also have some funding from ICESCO for big data analytics and edge computing. And we are also collaborating with UNESCO IFAP, that is Information for All program in Pakistan. My research area is AI, IoTs, and smart cities. There are some research contributions and some international collaboration there as well. We are collaborating across the globe. Earlier, the most important thing that we were focusing was US, because I did my PhD research and postdoctorate in the United States. Then for another postdoc, I moved to Germany. And then later on, because of the ISSCO funding, we were bound to bring some sort of innovation with respect to these small technologies in the Muslim world. So then we turned to Muslim countries, which include Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Malaysia, Turkey, and even Nigeria as well. We are organizing different conferences across the globe. One of the important conference that is Harnet ICT, where I am also the co-chair. In 2025, in December, it will will take place in GIKI Institute. We are collaborating with NUST as well as University of North Carolina, Charlotte in this conference. More than 4 sessions have taken place in Pakistan, and the rest of the conference were held across the globe. So that is actually a 22nd session that we will organize over here. So coming here, that how the youth of the 20th century is different from the youth of 21st century. And if we have a look to this, the youth of this century are digital native. For example, for the first time, I used mobile phone when I was doing my undergrad. And my children are using those mobile phones and all the gadgets they have from the age of 6 months or even 1 year. So they are more adaptive to these technologies. They are more aware. You might know back in 2001, one of the famous singer and then later on become a religious scholar from Pakistan, Junaid Jamshed. I spent few days with him and he said that my son knew much more about the modern technologies from me, though he was very updated person with respect to all these things. And same thing even happened today. As a professor of computer science and artificial intelligence, my son know much more about the gaming, about the use of new AI tools, about the new concepts that are coming with respect to that age level, or you can say that period in which he lies. Work is shifting with AI, automation, and platform, and that's why we need to update our next generation with the smart skills and smart technologies. And then onward, we need to update our policies, update our education system, and update our institution accordingly. It's not only the curriculum, it's not only the teacher, it's not only the university or the school, it's not only the classroom and the lab that we should equip, but it needs a complete ecosystem that should be upgraded to address the future requirement for the youth. If I simply just look at the perspective of comstech and then my affiliation with ISISCO, I mostly focus on the Muslim countries and Muslim population. And if we have a look, we have 10 countries with the most Muslims in the world that include Indonesia, then Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and so on. And with this high population, you just think about that if we train them in the right direction as per the future requirement, what kind of revolution we will bring. I'll give an example of Israel. There are just thousands, or you can say a few millions of people, and they have changed the world with these technologies. And these technologies, you can say, have given them a kind of very top space in the nations, or you can say in the region as well. So focus on these things can bring us at the top as well. With respect to land, with respect to natural resources, with respect to human capital, we are at the top. But once it comes to the technological advancement, the technological adaptations, we are not number top, and we have to find out the reasons for that as well. Some efforts are still taking place, and we really appreciate that. You can see here the Muslim World League initiative to serve Muslims through digital solutions. So there are some individual solutions by some countries, by some organization, but by some personalities as well. But we need an individual efforts to come together for adoption of these technology, as well as to do the research activities over here. Here is an example about the Pakistan and OIC, and you can see here that the youth from 15 to 29, and then even the working class that is from 15 to 59 years old are more than 50%. And if we have a look to the growth in youth population of OIC country, that is even almost more than 30%. So as an academician, as a scientist, it's my moral and social responsibility as well that I should bring awareness among this bigger population, or you can say this big number of people, that what is the right direction and how an educated, or you can say a more technological advanced Muslim will be more beneficial for Islam rather than those who don't know about it. Here is the digital youth and skills that we should adopt, and we should help our children to know about it. You can't stop them to use these gadgets and all these things. They are very crazy to use it, but we need to guide them in the right direction. They still use these technologies, but we should help them and we should guide them to use this technology in the right direction. Similarly, we should also have our own website. We should also have our own applications. We should also have all the necessary solutions that should be built in as per our beliefs, as per our religion, rather than allowing them to use all the contents which are available at the international level. So there is need that we should empower, we should guide them, and we should also build all those applications, websites, and access to the information which are in the boundaries in which we are allowed to. Here is a bit more detail about the digital natives, where we stand. You can see here the state of data streaming for digital natives in 2023. And every country have this record that what kind of data has been accessed by the younger people in last year, or now they are accessing over there. So then onward in digital native, this was actually discussed by His Excellency Iqbal Chaudhry sir in the morning. I was attending at that time online. So the Gen Z is those who born between 1995 to 2010, and Gen Alpha is even more advanced than that. And Gen Alpha is born from 2010 to onward. And you can see here that that is the generation who know about the apple from the 6 months or even from months, right? And before that, if we move back from 2010, the leading company was Nokia, which is no more in the market. And the reason behind that is their hesitation and unadaptability to the technology. So one of the top company of the world is no more because they didn't realize the impact of the technology that it can bring in their life. So the new skills of the new words are very different. And therefore, the first thing is that we need to realize this fact that how we can do all these things. The first thing is that it start at policy level, and then onward it start at institution level. The third point is that it start at teacher level or classroom level, and later on even at the home level as well. Now education is very different. Earlier it was very simple just to convey and ask the student to memorize each and everything. But today's education is not only the delivery of knowledge, it also carry the skills that you should learn. It also enable you to critically think, to criticize, not to accept each and everything blindly. And the next one is creativity. You can become creative once you have enough knowledge about any topic or any entity that what can be the next. And critical thinking actually helps you to be creative. Once you critically analyze, you find out the problems, then the creativity is to resolve or address those problems. And the last one is character. That is one of the most important thing, that strong character is the main parameter that you have. And that's why if, in the last discussions, there are many things about AI and all those smart technologies. But the new thing is, which is coming in, is the responsible AI, right? And similarly, this character actually makes the human being as a responsible human being. You can create, you can critically think, you can produce, but the main thing is the positive approach that everyone should contribute positively for the human being. And over here is the education 4.0, and you can see here that it's an AI-driven digital transformation of education to help businesses and people thrive in the smart technology era. And the standard for the education 4.0 is much higher than 3.0. You can see here in 4.0, we are mostly looking for the fourth industrial revolution, where need collaboration and interdisciplinary research was focused more. But in the future, we have education 5.0, which is more holistic, and we will need more emotional intelligence and lifelong learning in our students are in academic personalities. And now coming toward the challenges facing by these youth is, the first one is the skill gap between education and industry. This is very unfortunate. I'm also a bit responsible in that because I am part of the curriculum committee at Higher Education Commission. But unfortunately, the meeting of that committee takes place after 2 to 3 years. The computing and the technological area is advancing every minute and every hour. But just look at the curriculum and that's why there is a bit flexibility, more than 20 to 25% allowed to the teacher, that they should aid smart technologies and new knowledge in their subject. Access to quality education and technology as well. This is a bit, there's a kind of some sort of injustice, I will say, that everyone don't have those academic or institution or those technologies which are very feasible. One of the speaker also highlighted the point of internet connectivity. Internet is just like oxygen these days. You can't survive without it, and many people are still facing the unavailability of these technology. Then another problem is the unemployment and underemployment. We are producing graduates, but unfortunately, there's no capacity available in the industry, nor in any other place to absorb them. And very less opportunities are over there. So the new trend with respect to this is the entrepreneurial venture. Once you can critically think, once you can analyze the situation, then you can provide some solution or innovative solution. You can commercialize it, and you can produce an environment where you can hire multiple people rather than looking for a job. So the focus of a new means the new generation, or you can say the future, is that one should be a job provider rather than job seekers. And you can see here, one of the big tech giants are these days very young people. You can see Elon Musk, you can see Mark Zuckerberg, you can see Jeff Bezos. Earlier, the people who own oil was the most richest people. Are those who have the business in iron was the most richest? Are those even who has diamonds was the most richest? But in today's world, they are not. And reason is the changing trend of this world. All those who have data are the richest people in this world now. These are the top 10 skills which Education 4.0 demand. And we can start from the first one, which is the problem solving, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management. Look at this. It's not only your expertise in technology, but it also need your expertise as a team member as well as a team leader. So how individually good you are, the same level of perfection is expected from you as a team leader as well as a group member, our team member. And then onward, we have the coordinating with others, then emotional intelligence, judgment, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. Here is the changing nature of learning. You can see here, the top one is the rise of automation and artificial intelligence. So the best thing is to address this point, that first learn about this automation and this artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is considered as the new electricity. Electricity doesn't belong to anyone, but it belongs to everyone. So the main, or you can say the wrong perception of the people today is that artificial intelligence only belongs to computer science, IT, or engineering, but it's very different now. AI belongs to everyone. Either you are a social scientist, you are a political scientist, you are an engineer, you are a medical practitioner, you are a lawyer, it belongs to you. Then the second one is the soft skill, then the lifelong learning, and the fourth one is the gig economy. The gig economy is the new concept that is coming inside, that how you can originate the entrepreneurial venture and provide the job to the younger generation. Here are some gaps that we have identified in the digital era. The first one is the global shortage of digital skill and AI talent, and it's everywhere. People are looking for experts who know about these technologies, but unfortunately, the people who has degrees are not well trained with respect to those skills. And that's why they mostly go for professional certifications in all those things. AI advancement and its development are very fast. And therefore, we need to make the same pace in our institution and our student as well. Teaching about technology must be emphasized in education. We have to come out of the traditional mindset, which is just memorization of things rather than doing the hands-on expertise. Here are some strategies for the future skills. Incorporate the digital literacy, promote STEM, AI, data science, security, and entrepreneurship in every field. It's not only for one field. Every person can have expertise in these areas. Encourage critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. And there is need of public and private thing. Unfortunately, both are going in different directions. And we need to bring them together on a single table to devise a mechanism and policy for the advancement and better future of this nation. You can see here with the changing world, there are more than 3,000 tools. Many are available for research, generative art, productivity, software development, and even writing, essay writing, research paper writing as well. So important thing is that these 3,000 might be 5,000 in next few days. And you have to find out the best tool and the best application with respect to your area. This is still the responsibility on your shoulders, that you have to find out the perfect tool which can be used in biological sciences, which can be used in bioinformatics, which can be used in mathematics, which can be used in chemistry, which can be used in physics, computer science, law, pharmacy, and all those things. So this responsibility still lies on the shoulder of teacher and students to find out the best out of it. Back in 2010, when I was in US, there was a concept that scientists without border means you can move in Europe, you can move to Canada or US without any visa, right? The COVID-19 have evolved the new concept that is classroom without border. You can take a course anywhere in the world. And we have this experience by taking courses in MIT, in Stanford, in Oxford, in Glasgow, and all those things. And the next one is that the COVID-19 imposed is the scientist without borders. Science without border. You can contribute, you can share with all people in the world. And the religion of this world is humanity. And all the better things are, you can say, the advanced things that you can do for the betterment of humanity is a great contribution. This is the important thing that we should means share with our students to bring some awareness about the massive open online courses. These are free courses available online, and we should bring awareness among our students and our faculty members across the Muslim world that they should know and they should share with their students and guide them that how to do. The top universities of the world are providing these free courses. Even not only to rely on this, we also need to develop a mechanism that we should have our own courses as well. We should design our own courses, like the people over there might not be able to talk in the local language which they have. So therefore, we need to train our teacher and faculty member to develop such courses in the same pattern in local language. This is the mock market in 2032, which is almost 143 billion US dollar till 2032. And we need to look at our share as a Muslim world, that how much share we will have in $143 billion in 2032. So if we actually address this problem and guide our next generation in the right direction, we might have this much share as much land we have in this world. This is the new concept of artificial intelligence. The whole world is investing in this area. And therefore, you can see that artificial intelligence in just education market is expected to reach by 88 billion till 2032. This is just a single field, which is education. And you can see here in other fields might be more than that as well. This is the gig economy, as I discussed earlier, a segment of the service economy that is based on flexible, temporary, or freelance job, often involving connecting client and customer through an online platform. So it means there is no need to start your job from 8 to 9 to 4, 9 to 5, and so on. It's now a very flexible approach. You can do your work whenever you want. You can provide service whenever you want. There is no restriction of time. There is no restriction of region or area, and there is no restriction on physical presence as we have in the older system. You can provide the services from anywhere in the world, but still the base is the internet connectivity and the infrastructure that you need for that. This is the new concept of responsible AI, that the AI should make sure that the development and deployment of the AI system should align with the ethical principles and values, including transparency, accountability, and responsible AI principle and best practices help to reduce the potential negative impact of AI caused by machine biasness. The important thing is that it should not damage any human, any plant, any environment, any other things, even not a bird, not an animal, and so on. So the responsibility should be fixed who are developing that AI. These are the role of policies, as I mentioned earlier, that we should focus on. We should give priority to our youth as well as to the future skills. We need to invest in the infrastructure, and similarly, we should incentivize the innovation, those who are contributing, those who are bringing new ideas, those who are addressing the local problems. The problem which exists in Islamabad are very different from the problem in New York and Washington. So even the funding agencies like HEC, like Pakistan Science Foundation, Pakistan Academy of Sciences, they are funding those projects which address the local problems of Pakistan. And that is one of the positive things. These are the top countries you can see in the world in the area of education. And unfortunately, there's no Muslim countries. We are on top in many things, but we are not on top here because we don't give the due respect and priority to education. And that's the reason where you give the due respect. Now, if we have a look to the recently awarded 2 Nobel Prizes in the field of chemistry and physics, that has been awarded to those scientists who have used artificial intelligence in their solutions. So this is the award in chemistry, and this is the award Nobel Prize in physics. Jeffrey Hinton, which is also known as the father of artificial intelligence. So the take home from this topic or this session is that digital transformation is not about technology at all. It's about people. So thank you very much from my side. Here is our social media platform. We also have a Facebook page and we also have a YouTube channel, so you can look at our activity. Here is my profile for any kind of query. And if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Hatak, for your insightful presentation. And if there is some question in the audience, please kindly check also on online. Please, online participant, if you have some question, kindly send in the chat box. Okay, Professor, we have one question online. The question is, how can countries like Pakistan leverage disruptive technologies to create new jobs instead of losing them? This is one question.
Right, and thank you. The most important thing is we discussed that the new era is the digital era, right? So the first thing is that the job market is already changed, and we need to equip and train our students. You can see an initiative that has been taken by Professor Ehsan Iqbal, Minister for Planning, Udan, Pakistan. And over there, they are providing awareness and then training in the new technologies that include quantum computing, that include blockchain, that include artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, to train these people first. For this purpose, they have established National Center for Cybersecurity, National Center for Artificial Intelligence, National Center of Data Analytics, National Center for Robotics, and the theme is still to first train them to be part of those jobs. Just a day back, the Donald Trump have increased the fee, which is almost 1 lakh USD for the H-1B visa. And the scientists or the leadership over there in the United States said that the Native Americans are not equipped with those skills which are required for that high level jobs. And that's why we invite immigrants who have those expertise to take that job. So that's the case in Pakistan as well. You can see here that we need to equip our people and then onward to give them those jobs. The absentia of the jobs is still here because the people are not trained. The international people are means a kind of hesitant to come to Pakistan. But the jobs are there, but the required skills are not there, and we need to work on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for your kind response.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. Now, for the same session, we have the last speakers, the last but not the least. We will have Dr. Aisha Nazouk. She's a distinguished educator, associate professor of statistics at the National University of Science and Technology, NUST. And she's also a prominent mentor with a huge background in public speaking, research, and policy brief. So we kindly request Dr. Aisha Nazouk to share your presentation. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
This one. Yes.
Please, Dr. Aisha, you can share your presentation. Thank you.
Right. All right, so is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. And I was listening to and really enjoying the talk of the other speakers, and sort of a comment that what I really liked was most of the people were really eager to share things that they know. I think that is something really positive. I would try my best that whatever I share here is not a repetition, and you're going to learn through this talk. Okay, so my name, as you can all see, is Aisha Nazouk, and you can reach out to me. My contact details are here on display as well. So in general, I am a very gregarious and a friendly person. So I love to reach out to new contacts and collaborate, and that is why I am here on this platform as well. A little bit about myself. You can explore my LinkedIn profile later on as well, but I'm serving as an associate professor of statistics at National University of Science and Technology. And I noticed that Dr. Mozam Khattak was also affiliated with us. And recently I conducted a training at University of Haripur as well. University of Haripur, yeah. So the participants told me that Mozam Khattak was there as well as a mentor, because we both are resource person for HEC initiative, National Academy of Higher Education, where we train different faculty members across the country on different themes. For example, I recently conducted a training on communication skills, and I do trainings on AI integration in classrooms and things like that. I am a resource person for the National Police Academy as well, where I conduct policy brief trainings. And then I have consulted with, I have served as a consultant for many key organizations like PPAF and many other. I like to share my findings and my research pursuits on media as well. So I have been invited a couple of times on media. My latest talk was about e-governance, and nowadays I'm working on busting the myths about cervical cancer. I am one of those statisticians who likes to work on things that solve the real issues of the economy rather than just presenting some fancy formulas. I have a PhD in statistics. Okay, so I often say that this quote is so familiar and famous that data is the new oil, but I have added to it that if data is the new oil, then actually nanoprocessors and microprocessors are the new digital backbones. And now you can see that on the screen. This is my nickname or the social media name, Ash Rao. That is, I love to write just on something not directly relevant to the conference, but I love to write even poetry or quotes or in general on social media as well. So this is my name on social media. Another thing that popped up my mind this morning, that we need to learn AI not as something which is in trend or it's a cliche, rather as a value addition. I mean, we should not do things just to be a part of the rat race, but we should have a rational understanding of what value addition we can offer to the society by learning AI. If that is the mindset, I think that can solve a lot of problems. Even we face the problem of fake productivity as well, that we do a lot of things, but we're not clear why we are doing. So I think we have to come out of that, I would say, virus. I love to read about philosophy as well. So if we talk about Stoicism, which is a Greek philosophy, if you read a little bit about it, it emphasizes on the habit of cultivating virtue and practical and lifelong learning process, right? So Stoic philosopher, which includes Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Aristotle, and Plato, and many other big names, they presented the idea of what we now know as eudaimonia, which is has a ancient Greek background, which eu means God and daimon means spirit. So by eudaimonia, we mean that learning in general has to be a lifetime of virtuous action. By this I mean, most of the speakers were also talking about this idea that education is actually not that rote learning or what we read from a book or what we imbibe during a lecture, but it's actually seeds of change that are being sown in your mind. And then you, throughout your life, you should have a mindset where you keep on reflecting that what new things you are learning and what previous skill set, how is it helping you in accepting changes and then in proceeding life and navigating through different eras, for example, the new era of AI. So you see, there are certain people who are driven by pleasure-seeking effect. But what we have to do is we have to accept that if we have to be a virtuous person, then we have to accept difficult things as well, unpleasant things. So if AI is something that we find difficult or we are not that techno savvy, but remember, life always doesn't offer you. It's not a swing in a themed park. You are here to learn. So accept unpleasant things, and then only you can to be in a state of eudaimonia, which is a lifelong state of contentment rather than short-lived happiness. So we as a human, I always tell my students in the class as well, that we by design are lazy. All of us wants to do things in shortest possible time with least possible effort. So if AI is going to become a team member and helping us do things in a manner that our time is saved, so even then we have, this incentive. And then I also talk about the locus of control. Even whether we like it or not, the universe is not going to behave the way we want it, right? So we have to see, we should not have a victim mindset. Rather, we should be open to changes that are coming. And we should not blame the external forces or the changes that are coming. So whether we like it or not, for example, there was a time there were no calculators. Then came the calculator and we learned it. So AI is another change. And we have to accept if we have to survive. So I won't go into the details, but I would advise if you haven't read about Thomas Friedman's work and his book, The World is Flat. This is a wonderful book that navigates you through the time when there was no fancy internet, and then how the World Wide Web was, invented by Tim Berners-Lee, who happened to share birthday with me. I always take pride in that. So then we had now we have so many technology. For example, the way I'm sitting here and delivering my talk, just in 1990s, perhaps that could have been something imaginary. So things are changing. We are outsourcing our work. We are working in organizations that are necessarily integrated, and that's why we have concept of supply chaining. We have offshoring and things like that. So the world is going flat. So rather than becoming afraid of this new world, let's derive the maximum benefit out of it. So much is changing. There are so many good, I think if you are not learning, if you are not coming across a new word every month, that means you are not reading good literature. So if you do not know, if you haven't heard about cyberpreneur, if you haven't heard about virtual wallets or what is ethical hacking and things like that, it means you are working in silos, and you need to open up your horizon and read about new terminology, so you get to know what are these and how I can be a part of at least some of these, if not all. Learn new things, right? So for example, now we have ChatGPT, we have Full Board Premium, which if perhaps you might have used that. It's a LLM, or a large language model, that helps you write, that helps you check your grammar. So rather than always having a mindset which says ChatGPT is bad, Quillboard is bad, this should not happen, this is killing creativity. All right, but that is not going to change the fact that they are here to stay. So what we have to do, we have to learn this, because just consider if I do not know how to dance and I start criticizing someone who's dancing excellently. What will people think about me? It's just that I have a negative mindset. So I should know how these large language models or these tools are working, so that then I can have or derive a fair idea of how I can guide my students and even myself, how to take best advantage of these, and then use my energies for something even better. For example, if AI is helping me write wonderful text, and I can modify it according to my preferences, then my brain power should be invested in something more creative. If it is not, that means I am not making best use of my time. So as a teacher, I always used to, I always believe that we should not give assignments that focus on solving questions or coming up with a solution of a textbook problem. So what to do? If AI is here, for example, in the last semester, I asked my UG students that go and explore what is an SEO compliant CV, how we can create LinkedIn chatbot that can automatically apply for different jobs and things like that. Or for example, how to create a good gig so that you can start freelancing on Upwork or Fiverr. So these type of assignments, and then the students documented their efforts as a video and they shared with each other. So what happened if there were, let's say, 50 students in the class, and we had groups, so 10 to 11 new ideas were generated. Those videos were publicly available. I mean, I had the Google Drive and I shared with the students as well. So I think this is how teachers should evolve as well. And we should have a mindset that whatever we are teaching, we are training our students for future, right? So then I always say that there was a time people used to do mental maths. They could calculate big, very technical square roots, functional maths, everything. But now that time is gone. It's not required. If I take pride, for example, I can calculate the square root of a big number. I honestly say that is useless because the calculator can do it. So why not I offer something more? For example, why not I use my skill set to offer real solutions for my economy, for the world, rather than investing my brain power in these fancy calculations? Then I will also talk about how universities and how teachers in particular should improvise their courses in a manner that at least we are teaching something new to our students. Otherwise, your students will, I mean, they will sit in the class out of respect. Perhaps they may even listen to your lecture, but in the core of their heart, they will say that they haven't learned anything useful. So this semester, I'm teaching a course on data analytics. So what I have done is I have collaborated with one of the top video game developer of Pakistan, and I invited him and I told him, why don't you teach me and my students how to develop two-dimensional video games in the Unity software? So he started right from this very basic scratch, and we are recording those lectures, and students are honestly, I mean, I would not say all of the students, but many students are really loving the idea that they are learning something that is really going to help them in developing new skills rather than some textbook mathematics or the routine things that they do. So why is this important? As you can see, if you explore, the size of the video game industry is so big, much bigger than the Hollywood, Bollywood, and the Lollywood combined industry, that the annual revenue is so high. So if we are even able to pick a, small peanut share of us out of it, that's going to benefit if the students can do that. So as a student, as a teacher, we should have a growth mindset, which means that we should view challenges as opportunities, right? We should try and see the cost benefit analysis of coming out of our comfort zone and learning new skill. If, for example, I learn, let's say, Python or Unity 2D, I should have a fair idea of what will be the long-term benefit and what is the time cost or the hours I have to invest in learning these things. So if that type of a mindset we have, then I think we as teachers, or we even as general students, we can keep on learning. So remember, if we are not changing, there's a concept in biology which metamorphosis, like an organism right from the birth, and later on they, for example, if you see the life cycle of a butterfly, they keep on changing shape and form. So we have to have a mindset of a being going through metamorphosis. If after 10 years I haven't learned anything new, that means I have wasted my time. If in today's world I do not know about what is prompt engineering, what is ethical hacking, or let's say what are neural networks, means that my exposure is limited. So I have to inculcate this habit among my students and myself that learning happens outside the classroom as well. There are statistics that informal learning or self-learning can offer really good value addition into our portfolios. So I really like the quote of Bruce Lee, which you can see here. I won't read it, you can see on the screen, but the gist is we really have to be in the flow state like a water. We seep in through cracks. If you put water in a bowl, it will take the shape of a bowl. If you let it flow, it will take that course. So we have to be seamless, shapeless, just like water, so that we keep on learning new things. So as I was talking about the informal learning, so 90% of the learning happens outside the classroom through informal exposures. For example, this webinar, or after the webinar, what reflections you derive out of it, and you explore the new words that you come across. I think 90% of the value addition comes by that process. Then we also have to know art and other people learning style. For example, there are people who learn only when they teach, or there are people who learn only when they are under stress. And there are certain people who learn when they are comfortable and at ease and there are no pressure of deadlines. So why am I sharing this here as a teacher? That if you are, let's say, afraid of learning new skills, try to figure out what is your learning style so that you can tap into that area. If you are a person who learns through visual modes, perhaps YouTube videos are good. If you are a person who learn by teaching other, perhaps it's good that you take a course on, let's say, Udemy or Coursera, and you partner with some of the fellow students or colleagues, and you tell them that, look, this is what I have learned. So perhaps then you, after a few weeks or so, you will figure out that which modus operandi is working best for you. So 3 important skills that I always emphasize are in life is to learn, unlearn, and reset. I mean, if let's say in 90s things were working a typical way, and I expect that they should work the same way today as well, then I have a fixed or a rigid mindset. Growth mindset would say that I have to reset myself and acquire new skills and have an appreciation of different type of jobs. Now, one day I was watching a short movie on professional cuddlers, and I was like, oh, I was like talking to myself, and I was like, Aisha, this is a job as well. So people are exploring new ways of earning monies, new ways of diversifying their skill sets. So we need to appreciate that and do not stereotype what is a workforce that is beneficial. So we have to channelize the use of youth intelligence. As an example, I would say that, for example, let's say I'm not a teacher of history. This is just a hypothetical example. Let's say you are a teacher of history. So rather than going through same monotonous lecture, how about you deliver a lecture on history of taxation, and then in the class you teach the student how to file taxes. So that is a new skill students will really appreciate as well. Or if you have watched a good movie and you see that there is certain human trait like empathy or emotional intelligence or a growth mindset, you can discuss that movie in the class as well. And believe you me, students really like when you digress from the textbook topics and offer some food for thought for them. We have examples from the developed world where we have dual system apprenticeship options where students come out of the classroom and they learn directly from the industry. For example, in NAST, even we have industrial liaison officers in each of the schools. So perhaps this is the future of universities, that we have to integrate the student directly with the economy and with the suppliers. So we need to have public-private partnerships. We need to have regular survey. For example, here in NAST, we have annual surveys from the employers. What do they think about the students that are joining different industries? Do they have the necessary skill set, and so on? Government of Pakistan is taking a couple of steps, because as earlier speaker said, that internet is like oxygen. I really like that statement. Another one perhaps talked about electricity being necessary. So these are the things that should be on the radar, and to some extent they are on the radar of the government as well. For example, we have the USF fund, which is now trying to lessen the digital divide in Balochistan and GB area. Then we have IT Parks Initiative and free public Wi-Fi. So I think this is the need of the hours, the need of the hour. I also worked on a topic of e-governance, and I interviewed many government officials, and we talked about how a weak in cyber infrastructure can be a threat can be a national threat. So we need to have our own efficient cyber infrastructure. We need to prioritize as well. So we have the Pakistan National AI Policy as well. And if you have heard of the regulatory sandboxes, which means that if you are
Please,
integrating.
Dr. Aisha, sorry to interrupt you. You have like 1 minute left, please.
Okay, I'll try and wind up quickly. So I'll skip a couple of slides, and I would request the host that if anyone is interested, please provide them these slides. I will WhatsApp you these slides as well. Yeah, this is important. So I think universities should conduct their audit, that how they are ingraining the cyberpreneurial mindset, and how they are preparing the students ready for the metaverse or for the cyberspace. There should be a ranking of the universities according to their AI readiness and creating this. We can have R&D tax credits. Universities can, for example, in NAS, we have Science and Technology Park, where students can create their ideas, and then they get tax credits. So I will like to wind up, and just last one line, that generally I've heard people talking about drop shipping is halal or not, what's haram. I think as a teacher, we should also educate our youth that what's biggest haram is becoming a free rider for the economy and a burden for the family. So here I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Aisha Nazouk. And your camera is off. We can't see you. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And I would like to take some questions in the audience or online for online participants.
If you had alerted me earlier on, I would have turned on my camera. I just did that.
Okay, it's very nice to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. I know you are very busy, but thank you very much for taking the time to join us for this webinar. Thank you very much, Doctor. So, is there any question? Okay, so there is no question. So, inshallah, we keep in touch for our upcoming activity. Ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the conclusion of this webinar, I would like to sincerely thank our distinguished speakers, Professor Atak, Ayub Saab, Dr. Aisha Nazouk, Dr. Younes, and our dear brothers from US, Dr. Bradway, for your time and for your valuable contribution. And all participants online and in person, thank you for taking the time to join us. And this event has shed light on the skills, opportunities, and challenges that will define the future of skills. And on behalf of Comstech and my dear colleague, director of STI Center for Policy and Training Center. I would like to express my gratitude once again, and we look forward to your continued participation in our upcoming programs. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. And for the in-person participant, we have a refreshment, we have a tea, and coffee. Yes, it's for refreshment. The picture.
For the online participant, perhaps you can show a picture of a coffee. You can show a picture of a coffee cup.
We will send your refreshment by email.
Okay, okay.
Thank you very
Looking
much.
forward.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.